Hey Hunters, Marneus here. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at how to approach tanking Savage Omega, but this time from an actual team run. I'll be walking through one of my typical Savage Omega hunts with me as the tank alongside a healer and 2 DPS. Savage Omega really demands solid team coordination if you want a smooth and successful run, which is why this lineup of 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS works so well. I'll also be breaking down how I manage aggro, positioning, and support my team through the chaos. Whether you're a tank looking to improve or a DPS wanting to understand what your tank is dealing with, this one's for you. Let's dive in. Before we dive deeper into the video, I highly recommend checking out my Omega Squad roles video first. It'll give you a solid understanding of what each role does: the tank, healer, and DPS. Now, quick disclaimer, this isn't the only way to have a successful run against Savage Omega. At the end of the day, it's a game. Play however you want and have fun. But this is the approach that me and my Discord have been using, and it's been working really well for us. I do encourage you to stay open-minded and give it a try. You might be surprised how much smoother your hunts can be once everyone understands their role and works together. Also, this video assumes that you're running with a proper squad, one where everyone knows their role and you're communicating over voice chat. Savage Omega can technically be beaten with random SOS parties, but let's be real. The odds of a clean clear that way are very slim. Also, the build I'm using in this video is an upgraded version of my Omega Breaker build. Over multiple Savage Omega runs, I've fine-tuned it to better suit my playstyle. So depending on how you prefer to play, you might want to make your own adjustments. My current Omega Breaker setup now features Quick Sheath 3 and Evade Window 2, which really help with performance and survivability. On top of that, I'll be eating for a Zeus meal, which brings my evade window up to level 5, giving me the flexibility to evade Omega's attacks instead of just blocking everything 100% of the time. With all that out of the way, let's get this Savage run started. Time to show how tanking Savage Omega really works in a coordinated team setup. Jumping into the run, the first thing you'll notice is that Demo, our Hunting Horn healer, starts queuing up songs to buff the team. That usually takes a bit of time, so be patient at the start. In the meantime, I'll use Pictomancer to roll for Mog of the Ages. It's a great opener since it gives you a free 1000 damage hit on Omega without needing any windup. Accompanying me and Demo are 2 of our newer Discord members, Is and Yuna, who will be handling DPS for this hunt. Before recording this run, we only did 1 quick warm-up just to sync up and finalize our plan. And from there, we just stuck to it as a team. This part can be a bit boring since most of the time you'll just be waiting for the healer to finish buffing the team with Hunting Horn songs, along with the usual Demon Drug and Armor Skin boosts. Unless your healer is running Sword and Shield or Light Bowgun, this setup phase will take a little longer, so patience is key, but don't skip it. This prep phase is absolutely essential for your team's damage output and survivability. A fully buffed team means fewer carts, smoother coordination, and better consistency throughout the fight. While waiting, make good use of the downtime by cycling Pictomancer to roll for Mog of the Ages. It's the perfect time to get that setup ready since you'll mostly be waiting for buffs anyway. As you can see here, once Demo gives the go-ahead, everyone starts moving in and engaging Omega. That's our signal to begin the fight, and it's time to get to work. Yeah, that was just too cool to let it play out without me talking over it. Had to leave that one in. Look at that opener. As the tank, my usual opening against Omega is a dismount attack straight into a Wormstake cannon, followed by Wyvern Fire right to its face. If I time and position this correctly, I'll usually grab Enmity immediately, even though I missed the Wormstake cannon here. That's enough to lock Omega's focus onto me right from the start, giving the rest of the team space to move in safely and start dealing damage. Now, since Enmity is super important in this fight, my go-to rotation to build and maintain it is Wyvern Fire. As you can see from my build, I'm running Focus 3, which increases my charge shelling speed, letting me fill up the Wyvern Fire gauges much faster. This means I can use Wyvern Fire more often to keep Omega's attention locked on me, while also dishing out consistent damage between openings. You do have to be careful though. If you fire Wyvern Fire without any gauges left, you'll get a noticeably longer recovery animation. And that's exactly why I got hit here. And that's basically it for Area 1, a really fast clear if I do say so myself. But don't get too comfortable. Area 2 is where the difficulty really starts to ramp up. If you see me backing up here, it's because I need someone else to take the mustard bomb target from Omega. As the tank, I need to stay focused on getting and maintaining Enmity, and I don't want to get distracted trying to handle both at the same time. From what I've noticed, the first hunter to enter and approach Omega usually gets tagged with the mustard bomb, so that's definitely something your team should plan around before the fight starts. So let's talk about Enmity really quick, because maintaining it is absolutely crucial, especially in a group hunt. There are two main reasons for this. The first one is the obvious one, MRV missiles. If Omega decides to fire MRV while a hunter has Enmity, those missiles will only target that specific hunter. Omega himself will just stand there doing nothing, which gives your DPS a massive window to move in on the legs, open up wounds, and break them safely for free damage. The second reason is that Omega will not use Mustard Bomb at all during the duration of Enmity, and that's huge. Mustard Bombs can really restrict your movement and limit your attack windows, so by keeping Enmity active, you're basically controlling the flow of the fight for the whole team. Another big reason why maintaining Enmity matters, and something your squad will definitely appreciate, is that Omega will only target the hunter with Enmity. That means the massive laser attack that usually carts anyone without a shield will only aim at you, the tank. And here's the best part. If you don't move while it's charging, the laser will stay locked in a single direction and just fire straight ahead. That not only keeps your squad safe, but also gives your DPS more openings to move in and deal damage while Omega's busy trying to roast you. As soon as you see Omega use Mustard Bomb, that's your cue. It means your Enmity duration has expired. When that happens, your top priority is to get it back as fast as possible. The longer you go without Enmity, the more dangerous things become for the entire squad. Without it, Omega starts targeting everyone again, throwing out mustard bombs and MRVs across the field. And that chaos can spiral into a full team wipe fast. I'm trying my hardest here to get my Wyvern Fire back by using charged shelling, but man, targeting the face is tough. Omega just moves so much that lining up clean headshots can be a real pain. While we did manage to get a knockdown from the boulder drop, it ended up costing us a cart. A perfect example of how quickly things can go wrong when no one has Enmity on Omega. Without it, Omega starts targeting everyone again, and that instantly increases the risk of carts and chaos. One thing I keep forgetting to grab is the free Dust of Life from the Secrets pouch. Really need to remember that. It could easily save us a cart later in the fight. This is the perfect position to go for a Wyvern Fire and grab Enmity, which I did, luckily. Now that Omega's locked onto me again, the DPS can really start putting the hurt on it. Here's a quick tip for evading with the Gunlance. While you can guard the missile here, I generally recommend evading instead. With Evade Extender 3 and Evade Window 5, you can easily roll out of the blast radius, and it'll only cost you a bit of stamina instead of taking chip damage from guarding. Learning to evade in moments like this really helps elevate your Gunlance mastery and overall gameplay. You'll see me evading through some of Omega's lasers here, especially when I spot a special wound appear on its face right after the attack. Timing your evades during these laser patterns not only keeps you safe, but also positions you perfectly to capitalize on that wound with a quick focus strike and Wyvern Fire follow-up. Of course, guarding will always be your reliable panic option, especially if you're running full guard and guard up 3. It's all about mixing both tools depending on the situation. I see a wound on Omega's right hind leg from here. Remember, Break wounds as soon as you spot them. Doing so locks Omega in place, gives the tank some breathing room, and removes one counter from Omega's Pantokrator Mode. While breaking wounds is usually the DPS's job, if you've got a safe opening, go for it. Every broken wound helps stabilize the fight and keeps Omega under control. Notice that Yuna just broke another wound, which knocks Omega out of Pantokrator Mode. That's huge for the squad. The chaos dies down a bit, giving everyone some breathing room for the rest of Area 2. Keep in mind though, when that happens, you'll lose Enmity, so make sure to start charge shelling right away to recover both Wyvern Fire gauges as quickly as possible. I'll admit, I wasn't doing a great job targeting the head here. Looking back, I definitely should have Wyvern Fired while the opportunity was open. Picked the wrong timing instead. But hey, you learn something new every day. This right here is where the chaos started to spiral a bit. Without Enmity, Omega's attacks are flying everywhere, and everyone's scrambling to stay alive instead of dealing damage. Moments like this really show how important maintaining Enmity is. When no one's holding Omega's attention, the fight drags on, and the risk of carts skyrockets. Fortunately, we managed to pull it together and push Omega into Area 3, but it easily could have gone south fast. Right here you'll see Demo spamming the emote, signaling that he needs to restock. So we'll all stay in Area 2 while he heads back to camp to refill his recovery items. During this downtime, we also wait for Demo to refresh all the Hunting Horn buffs before moving into Area 3, which is usually where most runs fall apart. Use this time wisely. While the healer is restocking and rebuffing, start cycling your Pictomancer again and try to roll Mog of the Ages. Since nothing's interrupting you here, it's the perfect chance to prep before heading into the hardest part of the fight. There are a couple of strategies you can use going into the Nerscylla DPS check phase. The first is the straightforward one. Just go in, guns blazing. Try to get the Morbles to paralyze Nerscylla early, and take advantage of the Cactuar to stack on extra damage. That paralysis gives you crucial control and more uptime to deal damage safely. You can also grab the Burst Pod lying around in Area 3. Use it to shoot Nerscylla while she's airborne. That'll knock her down for a few seconds, giving your team another window to pile on damage. Another strong approach is to bait Nerscylla toward the corner wall. Keeping her there prevents her from swinging around like Spider-Man, saving you valuable time during the DPS check. And if you position it just right, you can even drop the wall on her for a guaranteed knockdown. One of the most reliable ways to secure the DPS check. Looks like S got a little lost here, and I don't blame him. I've done the same thing myself. There are actually two routes that lead to Area 3. One takes you directly into Area 3, while the other goes the long way through Area 1 and Area 2 first. Try to navigate manually instead of relying on the secret's auto navigation. Otherwise, it might just take you on the scenic route when you least want it. Since we're on a limited timer, and with Area 3 and Area 4 often being the longest and toughest parts of the fight, Demo decided to buff whoever's already in the area first, then catch us up once we're in position. With everyone set and ready, we move in for what I call the killer phase of Savage Omega, the part of the hunt that decides whether your run ends in glory or ends right here. Just like in Area 2, I wanted someone else to enter first so that Omega's Mustard Bomb would target them instead, giving me room to focus on building Enmity right away. But looks like luck wasn't on my side this time. Or so I thought. Yuna's Mog of the Ages came in clutch and staggered Omega right before it could launch the Mustard Bomb. That was huge because that bomb could have landed in a terrible spot and easily caused the cart. Perfect timing from Yuna. That one stagger probably saved the entire squad. In case you missed it, there was a small but important detail just a few seconds ago. You probably saw me use Mog of the Ages on Omega's head, and that actually instantly granted me Enmity. This is a really quick and effective way to grab Omega's attention if you've got Mog of the Ages ready. I honestly didn't realize it at the time, but after noticing this in the footage, I'll definitely start incorporating it in future runs as a tank. It's a great tip for anyone tanking Savage Omega. Fast, reliable, and potentially run-saving. Managed to grab a shield from breaking the face ring, and right after that, Yuna landed a mount. Perfect timing. That mount gives the whole team some breathing room to reposition, heal up if needed, and get ready to capitalize the moment Yuna finishes the mount animation. Moments like this are huge. They give everyone a chance to reset, keep the tempo steady, and line up for maximum damage right after the knockdown. Every bit of uptime like this helps us chip away at Omega faster, and hopefully finish the fight just a little sooner. With that burst of uptime, we've pushed into the pivotal phase of the hunt, Nerscylla. This is where things can go downhill fast if you panic, so stay calm and assess the situation. Check where the Morbles are, see who Nerscylla's targeting, and just keep bashing her face in. Switch to your secondary weapon, whether it's paralysis or fire, and put on your mantle if it's available. Mistakes happen here easily, and that's fine. The key is to keep pushing forward, learn from what went wrong, and don't repeat the same mistakes. Just stay focused and keep wailing on Nerscylla until she drops. Try to stick close to Nerscylla, because her laser blast can really send you flying, and that just wastes precious time. Stay aware of what she's using, especially if you're not running a shield. The more you stay grounded and keep the pressure up, the better your damage uptime and the higher your chances of securing the DPS check. I know this phase can be frustrating. It's chaotic, it's punishing, and sometimes it feels unfair. But honestly, I have huge respect for the hunters who don't give up and just keep pressing forward. It's not for everyone, and I get that. But this phase is designed to test your patience, coordination, and focus. That's just the nature of the fight. Once again, stick close to Nerscylla. Practically hug her if you have to. Staying near her back like this lets you keep dealing consistent damage while avoiding a lot of her more dangerous attacks. With enough patience and teamwork, Nerscylla will go down eventually. Just believe in yourself and your squad, stay focused, and keep doing your best. Every second of effort counts in this phase. Now don't relax just yet. This is only the beginning of the end for Omega. One slip up here can mean the end of the entire run. As you can see, Demo is busy buffing the squad while Omega charges up Delta attack. Ooh, I missed the wall drop there. That one's on me. I'll need to make up for it now. If you don't want to miss the wall drop like this, try to get to it as soon as you can. Otherwise, the whole squad will have to compensate for that lost opportunity. Those wall drops make a huge difference in keeping Omega controlled, so make sure you don't let that one slip like I did. Once again, the goal here is to get Enmity back as soon as possible. While Omega in this stage doesn't feel too different from before, it's still important to hold Enmity, especially since Omega starts pulling out a few new tricks at this point in the fight. Unless your team's damage is high enough to skip straight into Phase 4, stick to everything we've discussed so far. Maintain Enmity, manage positioning, and keep your squad safe while dealing steady damage. Make sure to break as many wounds as you can before heading down to Area 4. Any wounds left unbroken will fully heal once Omega transitions, so this is your last window to squeeze out extra damage and control before the final phase begins. The shield bubble really shines at this stage. It completely negates Omega's HP penalty attack, which it loves to spam to catch you off guard. A simple trick to avoid the HP penalty is to back hop away from the attack. With Evade Extender 3 or even 2, you can usually dodge it cleanly and avoid losing health. That said, if your shield bubble has already taken several hits, don't rely on it too much. As you can see here, mine pops just before the attack lands, and I end up getting hit with the HP penalty. A painful reminder to keep an eye on your defenses. One small but really useful tip: bring a cleanser to deal with the frost blights from Omega's Ice Burst. If you get hit and frozen up, popping a cleanser not only removes the frost blights, but the animation itself gives you just enough time to reset, whether that's guarding, back hopping, or even Superman diving out of danger. It's a small prep item that can easily save your life mid-fight. Once again, Demo signals that he's heading back to restock before we jump into the final phase of the fight. And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for sticking around. I know this is a long one and Omega's fight takes time, but I really appreciate you being here and supporting the channel. Truly, words can't describe how grateful I am for every single one of you. The love, the encouragement, and the energy you bring to this community mean the world to me. You're honestly the best audience any creator could ask for. I'll be fast forwarding this part since we're basically just waiting on demo to restock and refresh the buffs. No point making you sit through the downtime. It's just part of the prep before the final push. So let's skip ahead to where the action picks back up. Once demo gives the go-ahead, all 4 of us descend into the final area. Now, treat this phase just like every other part of the Omega fight. Only difference is, everything hits harder, and Omega's attacks come out faster and more frequently. But don't panic. Once you get a feel for Omega's attack rhythm and the way it chains its patterns, this phase becomes surprisingly manageable. It's all about reading the flow and reacting with precision. Omega will also enter Pantokrator Mode here, just like in Area 2. When that happens, focus on breaking the 3 leg wounds to knock him out of it. Keep your eyes on those weak points. Every wound you break will help suppress the chaos and buy your team some breathing room. Once again, Enmity is everything. I can't stress this enough. The chaos you're seeing here, that's what happens when no one has Enmity. As the tank, it's your responsibility to hold that aggro. Without it, Omega starts targeting everyone, leaving almost no safe windows for DPS to attack, and that eats away at your already dwindling hunt timer. Keep that Enmity under control, and your team will thank you for it. If you get targeted with the Mustard Bomb, make sure to move to the furthest corner of the arena. A well-placed Mustard Bomb can save a run, but a bad one can ruin it. This missile and laser spam is hands down the most annoying attack Omega has. It's actually the reason I started incorporating evading into my moveset. It's the only reliable way to survive this kind of onslaught without cornering myself into just holding the guard button and watching my health and stamina drain away. Even then, I still take the occasional hit, but mixing evade and guard together massively improves my survival chances. It's all about balance. Block what you can and slip through the rest. I'm not doing a great job at holding aggro here. Definitely need to step it up and focus more on attacking Omega's face. I also completely missed my Mog of the Ages back when we first stepped into this final area, which could have helped me grab Enmity earlier. Really need to do better for the team here. Every second without Enmity just makes things harder for everyone else. Be sure to stay clear when Omega's doing this attack. It's really easy to get caught in it and get comboed to death before you even realize what happened. Once Omega's done, you'll notice a special wound appear on all 4 of its legs. Go for it. Finally got Enmity back, and that's a big relief. One thing to keep in mind here, Omega has a high chance of launching MRV missiles right after that whole chain of attacks. If you're not careful, it can easily turn into a full team wipe. Just stay alert, watch Omega's movements closely, and be ready to block or evade at a moment's notice. As long as you react quickly, you'll be fine. I noticed a special wound on Omega's face here, so I'm positioning myself on the safe side and anticipating where the head will land so I can go straight into a focus strike. This timing takes a bit of practice, but once you get used to reading Omega's movements, you'll be able to pull it off too. I'm sure of it. With the shield bubble out, I'm feeling pretty safe right now, but then Omega decides to take off, firing missiles and small lasers at me, and that usually means one thing. The big lasers coming next. Now, I could just stay inside the shield bubble and be perfectly safe, but instead, I'm going to follow Omega's movements and block the big laser head on with my own shield. And here we go. The dreaded MRV missiles are about to fire. Watch how I handle this. While breaking a leg can help cut the MRV missile barrage short, the most reliable way to stay completely safe is to sheath your weapon and move back and forth. Do that and you'll avoid the entire attack with 0 damage. That said, you'll need Quick Sheath 3 for slower weapons like my Gunlance. Otherwise, you might not have enough time to sheath before the missiles hit. Just as Enmity runs out, Omega's face wound appears, and right on cue, he's about to launch a Mustard Bomb. Landing a focus strike here cancels that entirely, creates a shield bubble, and gives me a perfect window to unload both Wyvern Fires to try and regain Enmity. Unfortunately, I missed my Wyvern Fire and didn't get it back this time. But luckily, Yuna lands another mount right after, giving me precious time to reset and prep my Wyvern Fire again. perfect timing right there. I probably should have been charge shelling right there to get my Wyvern Fire back faster, but I got a little distracted trying to reach the head for some reason and ended up using Pictomancer instead. Looking back, yeah, charge shelling would have made way more sense in that situation. Lesson learned. The final stretch begins when Omega enters Pantokrator Mode one last time. At this point, there isn't much difference compared to the earlier phases. It's just Omega's final attempt to time you out and overwhelm your squad. Remember, you only have 35 minutes for this hunt, so every second counts. Stay sharp, stay coordinated, and don't let the pressure get to you. At this stage, Omega definitely feels like he's spamming more attacks, so it's important to communicate with your squad whenever you notice Omega starting a charge. It's easy to miss with all the chaos from the lasers and missile bombardments, but calling it out early can help everyone stay alert and react in time. And of course, there's the dreaded MRV missiles. As I mentioned earlier, stay calm when that happens. Just sheath your weapon and move back and forth to counter the MRV pattern. Not only will this keep you safe, but it'll also prevent you from accidentally luring missiles toward your teammates. It's starting to get really dangerous now, so I'm focusing hard on getting Enmity back. And luckily, I managed to grab it just in time. With a punch to the face, no less. But hey, I'll take it. Anything to keep Omega's attention on me and not the rest of the team. Once Enmity is regained, the DPS can safely move in and start unloading damage again. I've got to be extra careful here. If I cart now, we'll lose Enmity and all hell will break loose. I'm doing my best to stay alive, even baiting the mini Omegas into exploding on each other just to keep the pressure off me. It's risky, but it's the only way to keep control and protect the squad while things are this intense. From the looks of it, it's getting pretty rough for the DPS to move in. Omega's just spamming non-stop, and it's honestly frustrating. Everyone's forced to play it safe just to survive right now. At this point, all I can really do is tank it out and hold my ground until Omega throws out an attack that creates a real opening. Once that window appears, that's when the DPS can rush in and unleash everything they've got. This charge is brutal. It catches Demo and Yuna trying to sneak in hits after the big laser. Luckily, it's not too damaging, and since I've got Enmity, they can back off and heal safely. This is the perfect opening I've been waiting for. MRV missiles while I've got Enmity. With Omega locked onto me, the MRVs only target my position, giving the squad free reign to move in and unload damage safely. You can see it here. Omega's completely stationary while Demo, Yuna, and S hammer the back legs, which then pushes us right to the finish line. And that's it for the hunt. Huge thanks to Demo, Yuna, and S for joining me on this run, especially since they're pretty new to the Discord. You all did amazing holding your own through the chaos of Savage Omega. I also want to take a moment to thank my channel members. Your continued support truly means the world to me. Every bit of it helps me keep improving and bringing more content like this to the channel. If you enjoyed the run or learned something new, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your squad. And tell me in the comments, how's your Savage Omega progress going so far? I'm Marneus, and as always, may your hunts never fail.